Hey, what's up, family? Hey, we're gonna do a short, simple video today that's gonna touch on a lot of people's lives everywhere. And it's gonna be dealing with the word mediocre. Matter of fact, that's gonna be the word of the day as well, mediocre. Now, if you look up the word mediocre, it simply means like, not very good quality. Or another simple way to put it to a lot of y'all out there, something where you say, not very good. So talking about mediocre, it could be the life that you live in, the foods that you eat, people that you're around. What is mediocre to you? But I'm gonna start off with food. So how about that? We all grew up eating our family's food, you know, the neighborhood food, or certain restaurants we go to, and we think, yo, this is okay. You know, they won't say mediocre, but that's what they say. If it's just okay, then that's mediocre. You know, I'll give you a prime example. Take my wife, for example. I remember when I first got with my wife, right? I remember I had asked her about does she ever eat liver. You remember that, Beck?
Oh yeah.
And I remember being in a bunch of Spanish restaurants, and I would see how they prepare liver. For example, I would see a Spanish restaurant, they would have liver with tomato sauce, okra, and all mixed together. And I always thought, man, that's kind of different. Maybe I'll get a try one day, but that's not how I eat it. So I remember I tried it. It was like real dry because they boiled the liver. See, now that's mediocre to me, but it might be okay for someone else. But anyway, I remember I had said to my wife, she had it, and of course she said, yeah, her mother had cooked it all the time. She cooked it like that with the tomato sauce and all that, right?
Yeah.
So I remember, now that may have been normal to you, right?
Oh yeah.
And because it's your mother and you love your mom, like a lot of people out there, you know, it's acceptable, you know? But honestly, it's not very good. Remember, mediocre. And this is no disrespect to your mother or any nationality or whatever out there. People cook the very same dishes that you eat a little different with a little bit of different seasoning and a little bit of different heat, whatever it is. And it may change your whole structure of how you feel about taste with something that you've been eating all the time. But anyway, back to my wife here. So she ate the liver always the way she ate it, the way her moms ate it, because she loved her mom, respected her moms. She never thought much about a different taste. But I remember when we got together, I made the liver for you the way my family taught me, right? And that's how I fried the liver, and then I let it sit in gravy with onions and peppers and nice seasonings, right? And then I put that over that gravy over some nice rice with some nice vegetables with it. And I remember I gave my wife that liver. She never had it that way. And I remember when she had it, first thing she did was grab my hand, was like, then they're doing backflips.
Right, it was so juicy.
Then they're doing backflips because she's like, oh my gosh, babe, you serious? This is liver? I was like, yeah, it's the same liver that you eat all the time, just that your family cook it this way, where my family cooks it that way. Same dish, it just, this culture cooks it this way, this culture cooks it that way. And a lot of people in this world is going like, has been through that. If you try something different, you would look back and go, what I've been eating all this time has been mediocre. But I never thought of it that way because I just got used to something. You get what I'm saying? I know a lot of y'all out there can identify what I'm talking about, because if you get used to something and you never even try something different, it just might be mediocre, but it's just the fact that you need to try a different way with that same dish. And that might be the day you start doing backflips and like, oh my God, I never had it like this. You know, it might be a relationship you in. If you always been with someone that's non-supportive, abusive, you dealing with, remember, mediocre, not very good. You with somebody who's non-supportive and not helping your dreams or whatever, and you just keep tolerating it. You keep tolerating a mediocre relationship. But then all of a sudden, you get with someone who's very supportive, who lifts you up, who inspires you. And now you're like, wow, I never had it like this. I never had somebody support me like that. This is an incredible feeling. And now you realize what you had was mediocre, and you was tolerating it. And you should be always expecting and wanting more in life, not just mediocre and accepting. Look at a lot of people in the world who have never traveled, You know, have never tried nothing new. Always used to the same thing all the time. Matter of fact, this makes me think of your father, man. It seems like I'm attacking you with this, but I'm not.
No,
I'm just being
it's all
honest.
good.
How about your father? Remember, her father is an old Spanish guy who everything had to be, every meal, every single day was mediocre. But to him, it's normal. What is mediocre to him? Beans and rice, beans and rice, beans and rice, beans and rice, every single day. I remember one time your mother and all of us, we went out and bought Chinese food. You remember that, back?
Yep.
And your mother bought a whole bunch of stuff. Like, she bought the wings, she bought the rice, she bought the noodles. She bought so many different dishes that she go, everybody could have some. When we got back to the house, I remember your father was really upset with your mom's because he see that she had bought Chinese food, and the first thing out of his mouth was, where's the beans and rice? And I was standing there like, what? We got wings. We got pork fried rice. She bought beef fried rice. She bought some shrimp dish. She bought the lamine. She bought multiple dishes, and all came out of his mouth is, where's the beans and rice? So I remember y'all said to me, like, it doesn't matter what my mother cooked, he gotta have beans and rice with it. And I remember your sister also said, you know, that's not, I remember one time my mother bought pizza. And do you know this guy wanted beans and rice with the, I said, well, who the heck eats beans and rice with pizza? But see, that's normal to him. That's mediocre to me. I wouldn't dare eat beans and rice with pizza, beans and rice with some type of other ethnic food like Chinese food. That's ridiculous. But it's normal to him. If this is what he's been doing for so many years, it's normal to him. It's once he tried a total different dish, then sometimes, not always, because he's like stuck on his ways. But a lot of people, once you try a different dish, different flavor, different seasonings, that's when you realize, wow, what I've been eating all this time has been mediocre. This is great. I love, this is good. I'm telling you, I don't care. You're Caribbean, you're Spanish, African, Caucasian, whatever it is. At some point in life, the very same dish you grew up eating was acceptable. But to be honest, it was mediocre because it was just acceptable. But when you went overseas or you went to another friend's house, you ate that same meal, but they cooked it different. You was like, wow, this is incredible. You get what I'm saying? So just remember, word of the day is mediocre, and you look up the word mediocre, it simply means not very good quality or not very good, period. Simple definition for it. And a lot of us has dealt with mediocre, even with traveling. A lot of us get stuck in our ways with work, and never time to play. Meaning, figuratively speaking, go on a vacation, try something different, go somewhere different. Stop doing the same thing all the time in life where work, home, work, home. You know how many people where they got a vacation coming up, right? And they tell everybody, yeah, I go on vacation next week, Cindy. I go on vacation next week, right? And they go, oh, wow, where you going? Oh, no, I'm just going to be home. Got a couple of things to do at home. See, that's a mediocre life. Change that life. Go on a vacation. If you think it's too expensive, find deals on the internet. Find other people that travel a lot. There are plenty of deals out there where you can find and go on a nice vacation and do something different than the normal things that you have been doing, which is probably mediocre. Change different things that you're doing. And on that note, subscribe, share, like, and comment. Do something different other than a mediocre life or food. Peace.